Welcome to the latest episode of the Best of Cool Culture Corner. We look back at episodes from the podcast Cool Culture Corner and apply them to today in the world of COVID 19 and civil unrest and divisiveness and all of the chaos that we have going on in a year of 2020. Looking back at those principles that still matter today. Hi, I'm Ken Bader, your host for not only the Best of Cool Culture Corner, but also the podcast Cool Culture Corner. And our subject today that we're looking back at is making a human connection. This was episode 9, I believe, of Cool Culture Corner. And I'm even more passionate about it today than I was back then about 4 years ago when I talked about that idea. And where I originally got it, and to give him credit for it, was a presentation done by Dave DeFazio from Strategy Core, where it was a technology presentation and talked about all the things that we can do on our phones or on our laptops and tablets with our customer, our member, our client. But the point that he kept on making was that even through technology, we have to make a human connection. And what's interesting is just this morning, as I'm taping this particular episode of the Best of Cool Culture Corner, I found myself talking about making a human connection on multiple occasions. One, I had the opportunity to be a guest speaker in an online meeting to talk about personal branding. And I talked about the importance, even through LinkedIn and Zoom, how important it was to make a human connection. And then I was leading a collaboration group for credit union executives, and we were talking about increasing income and member engagement. And I found myself talking about the importance of making a human connection. And I truly believe, really believe, that even in today where we don't have a lot of human contact, that it's even more important to make a human connection, whether it's through Zoom, through video, through the technology, making people understand that there's a human being behind it. And I think it's even more important for our employees in order to build culture. We have so many people working remotely, so many people working from home that used to be in an office environment. We have to find positive ways to make a human connection with those individuals. So let's listen to a portion of the original episode on making a human connection. And I'll be right back and we'll talk about a few specific points from that episode that are really important today.
The theme for today is look for ways to find that human connection. Get your employees involved. You've heard me talk more and more about service standards. That I think is so key is allowing your employees to not only know exactly what's expected of them on a daily basis and creating consistency in how we deliver our services, how we run our business every day, but get them involved. Get them involved in either creating the service standards or be very open as well to say, you know what, if you think that one of these rules need to be changed, for instance, maybe it's not realistic that we start our opening a half an hour before the doors actually get unlocked. Maybe it makes more sense to do an hour before. Maybe if you could truly prove that you could do things efficiently, maybe it's 15 minutes before. Let them have some input on that. Obviously you need to make sure that the standards are still at a high level and that you're branding the experience for your customers, but let them get involved. Going back to my credit union CEO's example, they have really engaged employees. One of them in particular, Me Credit Union in Burbank, California. They have this sweet lady right at the reception who's 94 years old, and said basically that is her life is working at the credit union because she loves it so much. Try to get that from your employees. It's difficult, I know, but it's about making a human connection at the very base level. And I know we put a lot of complexity in a lot of the things that we're doing. We think, oh, well, we got to empower our employees, and we're running over there. Even from a marketing standpoint, we say, well, we've got to find a way to engage our customers and our prospects via our website and social media and email marketing. And yes, there is complexity to all of that, and making sure that it aligns with what I call my foundation, the B plus C plus S formula: brand, culture, and strategy. And while there is complexity, sometimes we need to go to simplicity on the other side of complexity, and remember that at the end of the day, it's about making a human connection. It's not about just a customer and a transaction. It's not just about the labor burden that we have to deal with the staffing that we have. We need to sometimes take a step back and remember that we're dealing with individuals. Whether it's an employee or somebody doing a banking transaction or somebody coming in to get a great meal with their spouse or significant other or family, that at the end of the day, it's just another human being that we need to connect with. And I think that if we come with that spirit, both to our employees and our customers, and are consistent with that, we're not only helping our business, but we're helping ourselves too. Don't want to sound too sappy here, because this is a business show, but sometimes we just need to remember that we've got to connect with people. And in doing so, I think that we also model for our employees. If we're making a human connection with our team, they're going to be more apt to want to naturally make a human connection with our customers, our clients, our members. So this is my challenge to you, is to find ways to make those human connections. It'll be good for your business, and it'll be good for you. And as always, Bader Training and Consulting is always here to help create a culture that will help you build and make those human connections.
All right, so a few things I really want to drive home. One is obviously that we need to still continue to make that connection with our employees, even if it has to be through technology. People are hurting. Even people that are working are hurting. Some of them may have family members that have COVID-19. Others may be affected in other ways. Others may just simply be worried because they have elderly parents or a spouse or a child that has a pre-existing condition where COVID-19 could be a real issue if they contracted it. So let's make that human connection. As I saw in a recent CNBC interview with Tillman Fertitta from Landry's Group, he used the word reasonable. Let's be reasonable with our employees. I understand work needs to be done, and we can't allow our employees to use COVID-19 or other excuses to just simply not get work done that they have the capability of getting work done. But we also need to be reasonable and understand that we're working with human beings, which leads me to my other point, how much I hate the word labor burden. I know that there are a lot of organizations that are making cuts now, and they're making cuts because of the labor burden. That sometimes is an easy place to cut, and that's tough these days. But let's not look at our employees as a labor burden. Let's look to our employees to come up with new solutions to keep our businesses rolling, even in these extremely difficult times. And we can only do that by making a human connection with them. And the last point that I want to drive home is how important service standards are, even today. If you've watched, listened to, read any of my shows, articles, you know how important I believe service standards are. And even if we're not in a person-to-person retail environment, service standards are extremely important, even if it just reminds us, even remotely, how we need to operate with each other, how we need to connect, and how we need to support each other through these times, even if it's through technology and not in person. So, much like I did 4 years ago, I challenge you to make a human connection, to keep that top of mind as you're running your business, not only with your customers, members, and clients, but especially with your employees. So thanks for spending some time with me today. And as always, here's hoping that you have a cool culture corner, even if it's remotely, at your unique business. Take care. Stay safe. God bless.